Hi, see what happens in the summer after this FIFA Club World Cup tournament, wherever it's called.
Chelsea, more.
Yeah. The last 5 Champions League winners are involved.
You can't lose 21 points.
Real Madrid, Man City.
Doesn't take the last one, because you've got the league.
Teams I've never heard of.
There are many non-European clubs, Tottenham, Boca Juniors, River Plate. I mean, generally, they won't participate in how we look at it. We have some clubs from Asia and
Arsenal dropped most there.
21 points.
But just too many games, it's no great.
That's why we're having 2 transfers.
Yeah.
And they want to get everything done in the first one.
Sorry, what was it? Joint with the 20.
Yeah, 19, 20.
It's like a World Cup. It's like it lasts 1 month.
Yeah.
32 teams.
No one else outside.
Same system. So I think it's like a normal World Cup in terms of
Assuming
games.
Chelsea, they're going to have ready rest at all.
I have nothing to say.
Chelsea.
Doesn't want to go into it.
Problem is, that one ends in mid-July.
Yeah, which is usually the start of pre-season.
More or less. And then it's like only 6 weeks until Christmas, not even that, end of August. And then next year, the World Cup.
Yeah, just a little.
Game.
It's all right, let's speak on it. Just discuss on it.
It's all in America as well.
Alright, cheers.
That one's in the States as well.
Yeah, and World Cup next year.
Canada.
I think you got Mexico, Canada, and
But most of the games are 70% in the US.
to be fair, it's all the same continent, so I might as well call it the American.
No. The weather conditions are just outrageous there in summer. Remember 1994 World Cup? There were like 40 degrees, like
Really? Wow.
like 5 or 6 hours before kickoff.
Even hotter than Qatar.
Potentially. Yeah, like California and all that. Should be. Is there any position at Chelsea that we use like Viva?
What's that?
Is there like any position at Chelsea we use Viva? There's a lot of work to be done here.
Oh yeah, plenty.
Goalkeeper.
Well, I mean,
It's Raspberry.
No, I should have just gone.
I'm not really sold on him.
Apparently, I'll be getting Andre Santos back from them the next season. I don't know what the feeling is. Wow, that's right.
Is he any better than Caicedo?
Do I do?
Well, I think he's more.
He's not on
He's a defensive midfielder, but he has like he's in number 6, but he scores lots of goals.
I did read something on paper for that true is.
Only one last one. You need some reason.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised because
There's plenty of that, isn't
I
there?
mean, last week,
Well,
Chile
the
Chile
Villas-
won the
Yeah.
John Girard.
card.
Yeah, so.
So, you know, from South America. And
Fulham,
The trouble is when these players go to those games, you don't get them.
you don't?
Jane. Just ask Jane if she's got a second.
yeah, the
Jane, ask Jane if she's got a minute.
final 4 games of the season against Villa, Arsenal.
Jane, have you got a minute?
Arsenal, Villa, City, Leicester.
Yeah. They did what you asked.
They get the result here.
Did you all hear that?
Against Leicester on the final day.
If it was a bit louder, maybe.
Yeah. They, no. Yeah, Bournemouth last week, it was just all the results. If they all ended at 90 minutes, Bournemouth would have been dreaming after last week. Because Brighton and Fulham both got wins with stoppage time, got
Well, five is
and Bournemouth conceded a stoppage time equaliser.
Seventh is Conference League at the moment.
But obviously Fulham
sorry,
lost
sorry.
yesterday.
Sixth is Europa League. Seventh is Conference League. If
as hosts,
And goal scorer.
Another team as well.
I think.
Nothing. FIFA, no.
He always is.
Yeah. Believer as well.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but I can't.
para andar on there.
Thank you.
Cool. Alexander, if you want to give a talk.
And only this the first ever league double over Arsenal for AFC Bournemouth. You must be over the moon.
Yes, obviously. These wins in these stadiums against these opponents is always an extra, no? Apart from the 3 points, but it's true that in this moment of the season, is even more. They are more welcome, no? We've used this before the game with the players. We didn't get any point. We never get any point here, basically, not even one. So it was definitely a good moment to have the first win.
And you must be particularly proud of the manner in which you did it, coming from behind, obviously trailing at half time, and getting those two to win in the second half.
Yes, I was quite pleased with the performance in the first half. I think we had a very good first 15 minutes, very good last 15 minutes of the first half. Arsenal had their one spell in the middle that they used to make the difference, but I was quite happy with the performance. We were having the ball a good amount of time, and we were having not a lot, but some clear chances, both from Evanilson. And in the second half, I think we've pushed a little bit more. We've also used very well set plays. This time, sometimes we lose points because of this. This time, the throw in the corner, I think, are key things, no? That in these high-level games, they have to go to your way, and I'm also happy for this. Yes.
You said a couple of weeks ago that you felt you hadn't been getting the rewards from set pieces that perhaps you deserved, but obviously it's come up trumps today. Was that an area that obviously in the reverse fixture scored a corner against Arsenal?
Yes, we've had, I think, quite clear chances lately. Remember the Palace, the Dean chance, quite good options from set plays, but it's true that last games we haven't scored any, no? And in these moments of the season, every detail, the first long throw we scored this season, Antoine, very long throw, and are things that have arrived today, and definitely a good moment.
And the 3 changes into the starting 11, Iraola starting, perhaps a bit of a surprise. What was the thinking behind those 3 changes?
Araujo, I think he has been training well. Obviously, he's coming from a surgery, from a muscle injury, but we needed his speed because Martinelli is one of the fastest players probably for the league, no, and is always a threat in behind. And I think Julian has controlled quite well that situation. It was probably not easy to leave Antoine out because he was coming, I think, from good games, but I felt that we needed something from the bench in the second half, and we needed the work from Taff, from Dango, from Justin there behind Evanilson, and it has worked. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Are you a fan of VAR now? It didn't rule out the goal.
Yeah, I think they were checking offside, no? First, they were checking offside, and I checked. I said, "Oh, I think it's not offside. I've seen the play; it's not offside." And then passes, and then 2 minutes, and then no, checking handball. I said, "No handball." And luckily for us, it wasn't. We were even asking, no? They were grabbing Evanilson, but this time they haven't overturned anything.
Does it feel a bit like justice because VAR didn't intervene last week and overturn the red card against Evanilson?
No, we've definitely, if you've seen our games, it's not justice. We've been, the stats, we've been, without the VAR, I don't have the standings, but I would like to know where we will be without the VAR, yes.
I just asked about the set pieces. You said they were both planned, and the long throw is something from the history of English football. We don't see it much now, but you obviously think it's valid.
I think we have 2 players, no, that can have this kind of long throw. Is Antoine and James Hill. We've conceded this season against Brentford and against Ipswich, and we haven't scored, but it's something that is uncomfortable to defend. You cannot do a lot, and when you concede this kind of goals, it's like, you don't like, no, when they do it, and we've tried to encourage, especially Antoine, no, to use his long throw in, and we don't have a very tall team, but it's true that we have Dean that is obviously a good aerial threat and has helped us today, yes.
You've beaten teams this season at grounds like St James's Park, Old Trafford, and now here at the Emirates. How do you think your team has been able to deliver these fantastic performances against tough away environments?
I think it's something that we've improved this season. In the summer, I remember we were talking, that probably we didn't get the results against top teams that we should get past season, and this season has happened the opposite. I think are points that probably you don't expect, and it's a big plus, especially in this moment of the season that we are really close to the end. It doesn't get easier for us. We play Villa next, we play Man City next, so we need to get points from difficult places, and today we did it.
Okay.
And before this game, Arsenal had dropped 18 points from winning positions. So when you go in at half-time and you're a goal down, when you know that Arsenal are sometimes frailer from those winning positions, does that give you encouragement into the second half that you can turn the scoreline around?
No, I think Arsenal is, I said it a lot of times, the best defensive side of the league. Without the ball are the best. You don't get a lot of chances against Arsenal normally. You can see the numbers of everything, the goals conceded, the chances conceded. It's difficult. That's why the 2-3 chances you have, I was regretting the two for Evan Nilsson, the header, the one who tries to chip Raya, he had, I think, Justin quite open. And I was thinking, it's difficult to get this kind of 2-3 chances so clear, But I think now has been by set plays, but I think Arsenal are very good. They continue being very good. They are doing an amazing season, and I hope also Wednesday they go ahead.
And you said lucky for you on the VAR this time around. Have you had a chance to see it back yet? Because the replays do seem to show that the ball might hit Evan Nilsson's arm.
I haven't seen it. I've checked straight away, quickly, to check, because they were checking the offside. I seen it, I say, it's not offside. I was already, because I didn't celebrate, now I don't celebrate goals. I wait. But it's true that after I would check, it doesn't look offside. But this time, the VAR, obviously, there was not clear evidence. We were also complaining that they were grabbing Evan Nilsson just in case, but we haven't seen it replayed.
Just one here and here.
Did you talk to the players this week about Bournemouth's record at Arsenal to try and motivate them to get that first one?
No, this week I've talked before the game today because I didn't know it. I've sometimes trying to see the news, not trying to guess the lineup of Arsenal or trying to guess something. You see and say, we've never get a point, and we talked before, but I don't think it has been nothing. Sometimes we talk about these things, but no, definitely the reason for anything.
So you mentioned it in the team.
Yes.
Also, did you expect Mikel to make a few more changes?
I was hoping he made a few more changes, but it's true that we have not been lucky, I think, because United, between the two games of the European semi-final, I think they put the strongest 11 against us the other day. We missed in the 96 minutes 2 points, and today has happened very similar. Sometimes you expect. I knew that they were going to go strong, maybe, 2-3 changes, but it's true that they've gone really strong, yes.
Last one up here.
And I have a question for you. You lost against Arsenal, I think, 4-0, one of your first games at Bournemouth. Now you win at the Emirates. I mean, does that epitomize how far you've brought us from in less than 2 years?
Yes, I've said I said it past season. Past season, I think the team that was better than us in both games was Arsenal. I think we lost here 3-0. We were a little bit better here, especially second half. We were close. We scored a disallowed goal. But especially first game we played there, they were much better than us. And I think we've not reduced the gap. We've been, we've scored set plays, things that you need against these teams, because you are not going to have a lot of chances and have gone to our way this season. But for me, it's, if not the most difficult place to come, the second most difficult. Is a very difficult team to face, even now that we've won.
Is one of your proudest moments as a Bournemouth manager?
I don't know. We've had good wins with Bournemouth, with Rayo. I think we've had good wins, but it's definitely something that you will not forget, because to win this kind of a stadium is not easy. I think it's the second game they lose all the season in the Premier League here. So it's very difficult.
And the final one, then we'll.
That was Evan Nilsson. I believe he's gone into double figures in the league this season. I think that takes him to 10 goals, 12 goals overall. That's some return for him coming in this season and also missing a few games for injury.
Yes, Eva has been very good since the beginning. At the beginning, he was playing very well. He was probably not scoring the goals, but we were very happy with him. No, he's someone who today also we've used him in the link-up play, playing a little bit lower than other days. No, and he's good there covering for the ball, finding the wingers after. He was also, I think, regretting the couple of chances he's had in the first half. No, because especially the one who tries to chip, the header was maybe more difficult. But if he plays well, is what we ask. If he scores, much better. But for me, the key is that he helps us without the ball, in the movement behind the defenders, and I think he's doing well.
Perfect. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Antonio. Well done. Oh.
Hi everyone. Raise your hand and we'll come to you. Ready? We'll kick off with Dan from the sun.
Done.
I hesitate to ask about VAR and the goal again. What's your view of the winning goal?
I just seen a few images and it looks very different to the decision, but they made a decision.
But overall, how do you feel about your team's performance? It felt a little bit like the Brentford game in that you couldn't get that 2 goals ahead.
Yeah.
And you paid.
Well, we started and we did the most difficult one to score the goal. I think after that we had 4 or 5 very open situations to score the second one. We didn't kill it. And after that, on top of that, you defend the box really poorly, the way we've done it in the 2 set pieces that we have conceded again. So they're going to punish you. On a team like Bournemouth, they're going to punish you. And after that, the game becomes rushed, very chaotic. That's where they want big spaces. They have more legs than us, especially with certain players that were struggling in the final minutes. And we weren't able to get the result that we wanted, so very disappointed.
Oh.
Hi, Miguel. I think that's 21 points dropped from winning positions this season. Does that come down to almost losing that momentum, as you mentioned, or just how does that happen so often in one single season?
Well, I think every game probably would have a different answer to that. Certainly what happened today is that if you defend the way we done, very few set pieces, but very poorly, in the league you're going to get punished. It doesn't matter if you are ahead or behind in the scoreline.
And that momentum that kind of came for Bournemouth in the second half, how do you make sure that doesn't creep into the PSG game?
Well, we certainly wanted to create it a really good vibe. A positive result will really help us to build what we wanted towards Wednesday. So what we have created now is a lot of rage, anger, frustration, and a bad feeling in the tummy. So make sure that we use that for Wednesday to have a massive performance in Paris, win the game, and be in the final.
Did you notice that Enrique rested his whole team today, basically, all apart from Neves? I mean, that's a huge advantage for him, I guess. But you expected that.
Well, I don't know. That's not on us. They won the league, so they have the luxury. They haven't the luxury to do that. We haven't because we still have a lot to do in the Premier League. But we have 4 days, and I'm sure we'll be fully recovered and our best to play the game.
Do you still think you have a lot to do in the Premier League? I just wonder if you maybe, worst case, looking over your shoulder a little bit for top 5 now.
Well, we have a lot to do, yeah, because mathematically we are not qualified. We haven't earned the right to finish second yet, so we still have a lot to do, yeah.
Tom? Hi, Michael. Is there any sense that as the gap to Liverpool opened and it looked less like the title was attainable, have you noticed any difference in the domestic performances where the motivation perhaps in the Champions League where that trophy is there to chase? Do you notice any differences in league?
We try not to. I think that's something very, very individual, you know, the way we have prepared the game, and today we talked about a lot of things that we had to do against a very good opposition that were very necessary to win the game. We certainly missed the most important one, which is defending the box, because we did it poorly 3 times, very poorly. 1 in the first half and 2 in the second half, and it cost us the points. That's the reality.
And pre-match, we talked a little bit about the rules and how perhaps they've changed across the season. We saw early in the season Havertz, the ball slightly glanced his arm as it went in, I think, against Aston Villa.
Yeah.
It was ruled out. This game, it looks from the replays like the ball does strike Evanilson's arm, and yet it's given. Is that kind of what you were alluding to before the game?
Well, no, I wasn't, because that happened today, but I prefer not to comment on that.
Yes, sir. I'm Michael. Because you've done so well in the Champions League, is the recent string of results in the league potentially impacted by the focus on the Champions League? Have you maybe took an eye off the ball in the Premier League in any way, do you think?
Again, our preparation has been exactly the same, or even more, and trying to put more emphasis into it. The margins are very small. It's true that maybe we lacked, I don't know, maybe a little bit of freshness, and the way they have to repeat today, they have to play some players that probably they were in the best condition to play because we don't have other players. But that's it. That's the context that we have.
It must be quite frustrating, though. I know you've still there's still a points gap, and you should hopefully, in your position, finish second. But with the team obviously chasing you now, there must be quite a bit of frustration to, again, obviously. Yeah, every time you don't win a game, especially when you lose, you are very frustrated. And as I said before, that raised that frustration, that anger, and that bad feeling that we have in the tummy. Make sure that we use it to have a big performance on Wednesday and be in the final. Okay, last couple. Firstly, Ryan, and then
Mikel, you've been praised a lot this season for scoring from set pieces, but obviously conceding 2 tonight. I think you've conceded 12 league goals from set pieces this season, which is the 3rd worst. Is that an issue that you need to sit down with your team with it address, or do you think it's just bad luck?
Is not only what you score, is the difference in gap that you do between the ones that you score and the ones that you conceded, and we have conceded a lot, and especially recently, which are costing us a lot of points. That's clear, and that's everybody's responsibility. But as well, credit to the opposition. Today they've done it really well. I mean, somebody is able to throw the ball in the middle of the goal to a guy that is taller than anybody else, and he hits the ball in the back of the net. We really want to do better, but it's difficult.
And in the first half, towards the end of the first half, I noticed you seem to be getting really frustrated with your team's sloppiness at the back. Is that a concern as well going to PSG, because we know how good their front 3 is, but at times your team seems to be losing the ball in quite silly spaces? Today,
in many situations, we have given balls away that is nowhere near the standard that we require, certainly.
Okay, finally to Simon.
Mikel, can I just ask, in terms of fitness-wise, are you confident that Yuri will be okay for Wednesday?
No. Confident? At the moment, no, because he wasn't able to play here, and we play in 4 days.
What was the issue with him?
I cannot tell you.
And can I just ask with Martin, there was a bit towards the end when he sort of like kicked the ground and he was going for a shot. Is he okay?
I haven't had a chance yet to speak to the doctor giving me an update on that, so I don't know.
Okay, guys. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you.
Right. Cheers, mate.